Good morning, 8th grade. All right, we are on vocabulary. We're on unit 13. We only have 3 more units to go, so 13, 14, and 15, and we are done. Chapter 13, unit 13, is probably one of the most important vocabulary units that we do all year long. 90% of the vocabulary words in here are all high school prep words. So I would say 90% of these you're going to see in high school. You're going to see on the SATs. Now, all the words are very important, but this particular unit has a lot in it. So, Quizlet first. When you're all done, just send me your Quizlet and we'll go from there. Make sure you include the pictures just so you have that visual connected to the words. It allows your memory to kind of hold on to the word definition just a little bit longer. All right, so number one, starting off easy. Number one is adapt. Basically, to adjust or change to suit the condition. So, right now, we're trying to adapt with being in inclusion. With being in this what are we in? We're in
Captivity.
captivity. Thank you, captivity. We are in captivity. So we are adapting to it. Sorry, no coffee yet this morning. All right, so number two, attest. Attest is to bear witness to something. So if you attested to something, you attested to somebody doing something, you bear witness to that. You see them doing it, you testify against them, you attest to it. Number three is dovetail. Now, for example, when we did our World War II unit with Diary of Anne Frank, and then Miss Drummond was doing World War One, and she's working into World War Two. Those two lessons, me in language arts and Miss Drummond in social studies, those two lessons dovetail each other. They kind of fit together and kind of overlap, so you guys have a really strong base knowledge in both what you're doing with me, but also with Miss Drummond. So dovetailing is fitting together. Number four is enormity. It's just quality of exceeding all moral bounds, exceeding evil acts, huge size, immensity. The enormity of the disaster shocked and saddened the nation. So the enormity of like Hurricane Sandy shocked the entire East Coast. The size of it, the enormity of how many people it affected. All right, number five is falter. Falter is to hesitate or stumble. So if you had something that you were going to do and you faltered on it, you kind of stumble a little bit, you kind of you lose the courage to keep going on it. You falter. Number six, huge high school word, foreboding. Comes up in a lot of high school novels. It's a warning or a feeling that something bad is going to happen. So if you had a foreboding feeling, that's the adjective. Um, that means that you have a feeling that something really bad is going to happen. Or a character might have a foreboding feeling, or the novel may create a foreboding feeling. Something that is going to happen, and you're just like, I don't feel good about this. All right, number seven, another high school word, forlorn. Totally abandoned and helpless, sad, lonely, wretched. Many characters are described as being forlorn in Shakespeare, forlorn in To Kill a Mockingbird, high school books for next year. Forlorn, very sad, totally wretched and pitiful, hopeless, beyond hopeless. Number eight is haughty, chilling, proud, and scornful. The haughty tone of his voice, the very proud tone of his voice. Haughty, and it's just fun to say, haughty. Number nine, impediment is a physical defect. So somebody has a stutter, that would be an impediment. Okay, a speech impediment, something that is a physical defect. So something that holds somebody back, an impediment, a hindrance, an obstacle. Number 10 is imperative. It is imperative that you get all your work done and turn it in on time so that you can get your grade. Imperative. It's necessary and urgent. So something that is imperative, it's very important, very urgent. Kind of like washing your hands right now, keeping on very imperative, very important. Number 11, you might have seen a sign if you went down to the 7-Eleven down the street. You might have seen a sign that said the word loiter, and it says no loitering. The problem is you don't know what loitering is, so you said no loitering. Oh well, I guess I'm fine. But you're not. Because loitering means to linger around aimlessly, to just kind of hang outside the store. That's what they're asking. They're saying no loitering. They don't want you just hanging out and just not doing anything or not buying anything. So loitering, no loitering, that's what that means. Now you know what the sign means. Number 12 is malinger. It's to pretend illness, to avoid duty or work. So basically faking sickness to kind of stay home from school. Number 13 is pithy. Another fun word to say. Pithy. Go ahead, try it. I'll wait. Pithy. Don't spit on the screen. No. Oh, gross. All right. Short but full of meaning and point. So something that's pithy is like Ben Franklin had these little sayings that he wrote. A penny saved is a penny earned. Pithy. Very short but very meaningful. All right. Next one, number 14 is plunder. Pirate wording. To rob by force, especially during wartime. So if you plunder something, you take all of the resources, you plunder them, you steal everything. Simper, not a word we use too often, is smile or speak in a silly, forced way. Strangers may find it easier to simper about trivial matters. It's a forced smile, so kind of like, somebody's talking about how they're so excited about, let's say, their stamp collection. And you're like, wonderful, tell me more. It's been only 2 hours. Simper, a forced smile. Number 16 is steadfast, firmly fixed, constant or moving. If you're steadfast, many of you have been steadfast in getting all of your work done, which I'm extremely proud of you guys for. Just steadfast, firmly fixed. I wake up in the morning, everything's turned in. I get to grade it, send it right back to you. You're doing amazing. Number 17 is vaunted, much boasted about in vain or swaggering way. So it's kind of like a braggart. Somebody who just boasts a lot, and the rookie's vaunted strength, like his boasted about strength, swagger, not too much in a bragging way like you're bragging, but in a boasting way kind of thing. Number 18 is vilify. Now, if you look at the word vilify, we have the word villain in it. Kind of like it's kind of villain is kind of the root word villain, vilify. Basically, to abuse or belittle unjustly or maliciously. So if you vilify someone, you paint them as a villain in a not appropriate way because they're not really a villain. You're vilifying them. So it's the verb form, and it's making someone turned into a villain, and not necessarily that they actually are. Number 19 is waif. It's a person, usually without a home. I know that this definitely comes up into Kill a Mockingbird next year. Waif, pretty sure. And there's another one that it comes up in too. So waif is just a person. Usually it's a child who just was without a home or without a friend. And the next one is rye. Now, not like rye bread, R-Y-E. This is W-R-Y. And it's twisted, turned to one side to rye. Charles Addams was famous for rye cartoons. So basically, it's clever humor. So if you look at the comics, there's certain political cartoons that are very wry. They're very intelligent, very often cleverly written about what's going on in the political world, and they are written to kind of make fun of those people. So wry. All right. Any questions? Let me know. Homework tonight. Make sure you finish the vocabulary pages, the 4 vocabulary pages by Thursday, and have an amazing day.